The scandal surrounding Keir Starmer. A hypocrite or just a politician? In recent interviews and parliamentary sessions, Keir Starmer, leader of the Labour Party, has faced accusations of political hypocrisy. Despite his polished public image, it seems Starmer's actions behind the scenes are beginning to tell a different story, one of contradictions and questionable ethics. Starmer, who has long positioned himself as a respectable leader, has secretly enjoyed perks that seem far removed from the life of the average Briton. Lavish football tickets, designer clothes, and even Taylor Swift concert access have all come into question, raising eyebrows about his true integrity. This image of excess, revealed by a frustrated news host, has painted Starmer in a light many of his supporters may find hard to defend. The situation reached new heights when Starmer stood in front of Parliament, discussing the country's dire financial state with a $22 billion hole in public finances. He blames the Conservatives for this mess, but the reality is that Labour's estimates were only $5 billion different. With winter on the horizon, Starmer's budget revisions are expected to be harsh, potentially cutting subsidies that help pensioners cover their heating costs. While Starmer promises not to let the vulnerable suffer, many are skeptical of his pledges. To make matters worse, indirect taxes may rise to fund Labour's policies, and Starmer's ratings are plummeting. Once seen as a likely contender for Prime Minister, he now faces the backlash of the public, who are starting to question if his decisions are as principled as he claims. On the streets, the mood is clear. Seniors, some of whom voted for Labour, are outraged. They feel abandoned by a government that they believe is out of touch with the realities of everyday life. They protest the removal of winter heating allowances, unwilling to accept that they should bear the brunt of financial cuts while their leaders live in luxury. One pensioner called into a radio show, speaking out against the government. He pointed out the potential tragedy that could unfold, claiming thousands of retirees could die due to inadequate heating support. And yet Starmer continues to live comfortably, a stark contrast to those he claims to represent. But Starmer's spending habits aren't just limited to himself. His wife's expensive wardrobe and gifts, funded by donations from individuals like Lord Ali, a Labour donor who has contributed over $575,000, have drawn sharp criticism. Lord Ali's generosity has also included lavish pool parties and high-profile events in Mayfair, attended by Starmer and other top Labour officials. Many now question what Lord Ali is receiving in return for his substantial contributions. The Labour Party, of course, denies any wrongdoing, arguing that such donations are a standard part of political life. But the optics are terrible. How can Starmer, who has promised to clean up British politics and fight for fairness, accept such lavish gifts? His critics argue that this kind of behaviour reeks of privilege and entitlement, completely disconnected from the struggles of ordinary people. Even the attempt to quietly revoke Lord Ali's access to Downing Street hasn't gone unnoticed. The Labour Party is trying to downplay this scandal, but the damage is already done. This is an embarrassment for Starmer, who has staked his leadership on integrity and moral authority. The entire affair has opened a window into how political power operates at the highest levels. While it's nothing new that wealthy donors contribute to political campaigns, the problem arises when it appears they're receiving special treatment. And when this treatment comes at the cost of trust in public institutions, it becomes harder for leaders like Starmer to regain the public's faith. In the end, the optics of this scandal only reinforce the perception of hypocrisy in the Labour Party. Starmer, once the champion of a clean and fair Britain, now finds himself mired in a controversy of wealth and influence. As the story unfolds, only time will tell if he can recover his reputation, or if he'll face the same fate he once called for Boris Johnson to meet: a resignation tainted by scandal and public distrust.